The wake-up Hivery morning at exactly 5 a.m., a soft alarm echoed across the quiet town of Dawson Hill. No one knew where it came from, no one remembered setting it, but it rang like a ghost knocking on the door of time. People whispered about the 5 a.m. habit. They said it wasn't just about waking up early, it was a door, a test, a curse. Those who followed it changed. Some became smarter, faster, colder. Some vanished. Others walked around town with dead eyes and stiff smiles, like they had seen something no one else could. Ethan didn't care. He was 24, unemployed, and proud of it. His room was always dark, filled with leftover pizza boxes, half-finished video games, and dreams he never chased. Motivation videos made him laugh. Change your life in 30 days. Wake up at 5 a.m. and conquer the world. Stupid lies for broken people, he thought. One night, just to mock the trend, he set his alarm. He woke up at 5 a.m. with a dry throat and heavy eyes. The world outside was still sleeping. The sky was a deep blue, the kind that felt too quiet. He rubbed his face and looked in the mirror. That's when it happened. His reflection didn't move. It stood there, still, watching him. Then it blinked. Not with him, at him. Ethan froze. He waved his hand slowly. His reflection followed a moment too late. His head tilted, and the mirror version tilted in the wrong direction, like a delay in an old video call. For a second, it smirked, just slightly. He looked away and grabbed his phone. Something wasn't right. He opened his gallery, confused. There was a new photo. He hadn't taken one. It showed his room. Last night, same angle as his bed, same blanket, same crooked poster, but in the picture, he wasn't alone. Lying beside him was another version of himself, older, sharper eyes, tired but focused, and he was watching Ethan sleep. He tried to forget the photo. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe he sleepwalked and did something weird. Maybe the image was edited. He deleted it twice, but every time he opened his phone it came back. Same photo, same timestamp, same eyes watching him sleep. Ethan decided not to wake up at 5 a.m. the next day. He stayed up late, kept the lights on, and fell asleep around 2:30 a.m. with a baseball bat in his hand, just in case. He woke up at 9:12 a.m. At first, everything looked normal. The sun was out, the air was warm, birds chirped. But when he walked outside, he noticed something was off. The people, they didn't look at him. His neighbor, Mrs. Keller, walked right past him with her dog. She always smiled, always waved. Today, nothing, not even a blink. At the coffee shop, the cashier took his order but never looked up. Her eyes stared past him like he wasn't really there. When he walked back home, he noticed something worse. There were no shadows, not his, not anyone's. It was 9:47 a.m. and the sun was strong, but the world was flat, like light had forgotten how to behave. Inside his room, he saw it, a note on the mirror scratched in shaky red marker. Keep waking up, or we'll take your place. Ethan backed away, his heart slammed in his chest. His hands trembled. Who wrote that? He checked his door locked, windows shut, no sign of entry. He turned back to the mirror. His reflection was normal now, but behind it in the reflection only stood a faint outline. A man, same build, same face. Ethan spun around. No one there. He looked back at the mirror. The figure remained. Then the figure leaned in, close to the glass, and whispered something Ethan couldn't hear. A sudden buzz pulled his eyes to the desk. His laptop screen had turned on by itself. A video was playing, time-stamped tomorrow morning, 5:03 a.m. It showed Ethan sleeping in his bed, breathing slowly. Nothing unusual. Until a dark shape stepped into frame. That it stood over Ethan's body, staring down. The video froze at the exact moment the figure leaned down and placed a hand on his chest. His phone buzzed. Again, new alarm set. 5 o'clock a.m. Touched it, and this time, he was too afraid to turn it off. Ethan's hand shook. The photo was timestamped, 4:59 a.m. He wasn't alone. That was the first truth Ethan learned after 3 straight mornings of waking up at 5 a.m. each time. The world felt slightly off, quieter, colder, watching. His reflection no longer blinked. Shadows sometimes moved without him. But worse than the mirror were the messages. They came in the fog on his window, in the coffee steam, on the screen of his laptop when it was powered off. You're waking up, others are not. He tried to search online, but regular websites didn't load. Instead, his browser auto-redirected to a plain black page with 5 words at the center. The watchers are not sleepers. A chat window opened, a message appeared. You saw it too. Ethan hesitated, then typed, "Who are you?" The reply came instantly. One of the others. "We wake, we remember. Meet us." Attached was a map pin, a library on the edge of town. abandoned for years. That night, curiosity broke through his fear. He arrived at 4:55 a.m. The sky was dark. The air buzzed like static. Inside the building, people waited in silence. No one spoke for a full minute. Then the youngest, a girl no older than 16, looked at him with wide silver eyes. "You have it too," she said. The mark of the waking. She was Noor, a high school student who hadn't slept past 5 a.m. in 6 months. She said the voices started after the third week. Voices of future versions of herself. Ones who had succeeded, others who had failed. The man beside her was Sam, a quiet, rugged type with military tattoos. He never blinked. He said waking at 5 a.m. gave him access. He never explained what that meant, just nodded toward the wall where a photo hung. It showed the four of them standing in that room, but Ethan was already in the photo before he arrived. The last was Maya.com. Brilliant. A neuroscientist who claimed the 5 a.m. state activated a layer of consciousness humans weren't meant to reach. A layer closer to what she called the other stream. She handed Ethan a notebook. Inside were pages filled with symbols, mirror writing, and numbers that bent and twisted the more he stared. "I used to think we were just waking up early," she said, "but the truth is darker. The more you wake at 5 a.m., the more they notice you." Ethan leaned in. "Who?" he asked. Maya looked at him with tired eyes. "Our future selves," she whispered. "Some of them want to help." A pause. Then she added, "But others want to replace us." The lights flickered. A wind howled through the broken windows, though the air outside was still. Then Ethan saw it. A figure in the corner, pale, still watching, not blinking, not breathing. It looked exactly like Sam, but Sam was standing beside him. The other Sam smiled and vanished. At exactly 5:01 a.m., the world froze. Ethan was halfway through pouring water when it stopped midair. The liquid hung between the bottle and the glass like a frozen sculpture. His hand was shaking, not from fear, from movement, because everything else had stopped. Outside his window, a crow hung in mid-flight. Leaves paused in the wind. Time had stalled except for him. He stepped out into the street. Silence. A baby cried, then stopped. Mouth open, frozen in soundless pain. A car hovered inches above the road. The headlights still glowed, but the tires no longer moved. He wasn't dreaming. Something had broken. Then a noise cracked through the stillness, soft at first, like metal breathing. He turned toward it and saw a man, glowing. Silver veins ran through his skin like wires. His eyes pulsed with white light, and his voice echoed in Ethan's head, not his ears. "You woke up," the man said. "You weren't supposed to wake up yet." Ethan stepped back. "What is this? What's happening to time?" The man walked closer, feet not quite touching the ground. "Time doesn't break, it reveals. At 5:01 a.m. the world opens for a moment, if you wake enough times." Ethan looked around. "Is this ... the future?" "No," the man said. "This is the in-between. You're inside a second that doesn't belong to you. The more you enter, the more they notice." Ethan's mind spun. The man nodded. "Slowly versions, futures, ghosts of what you could be. They watch the ones who wake. They want your timeline because they've lost theirs." Suddenly, the man grabbed his head, groaning. Static cracked in the sky above. The clouds flickered, like TV screens. A dark shape spiraled in the air like a black hole stretching across the sky. "They found me," he gasped. "You must leave. Don't trust the reflections. Don't believe that." His sentence was cut off. A flash, a scream, and then he was gone. Not exploded, not vanished, just ... erased, like he was never there. The sky reset. The crow finished its flap. The water dropped into the glass. It was 5:02 a.m. Time resumed. Ethan stood in the kitchen, heart racing, breath shallow, hands wet with water he didn't remember spilling. Then his phone, vibrated. New message. No contact name, no number, just that. "Was your first glitch. There will be more." He stared at the screen, then looked up. The clock on the wall blinked. 4:59 a.m. Time was looping. It started with a whisper. At first, Ethan thought it was in his head, a memory, a leftover dream. But the whisper had timing, purpose, like a voice just on the other side of his thoughts, waiting to be heard. It said, "You're wasting my life." Ethan froze. He looked around. Empty room. No speakers, no phone nearby. The whisper came again, this time from the mirror. Not through it. From it. He stepped closer. The reflection was slightly off again. It moved slower, eyes tracking just behind his own. And then, for a split second, it stopped copying him. It stared at him instead. The lips moved. You're not doing enough. I gave you time, and you're wasting it. He stumbled backward. Later that day, or what passed for a day, now he met with Noor and Sam again. Maya was missing. No messages. No trace. She's gone, Noor said. Her voice was flat, distant. Sam stood at the back of the library, staring at nothing. His hands were twitching slightly, repeating movements, almost like a loop. Ethan called out to him, Sam, you good? Sam turned slowly, then spoke, but his sentence repeated itself halfway through, glitching like a broken recording. She didn't leave. She was taken. He stopped. His eyes rolled back for a moment, then he blinked and smiled. Everything's fine, Sam said. Noor pulled Ethan aside. Her hands were ice cold. I've been hearing my future self too, she said. She told me we're just copies, and one of us was never real. Ethan's heart pounded. Which one? Noor looked at Sam. That's not him anymore. That night, Ethan found a notebook in his room. It wasn't his. He hadn't bought one. But there it was, lying on his desk, already open to a page. In shaky black ink, I'm you, 10 years ahead. I failed. They got me. I can't escape. But you can. Don't trust Sam, don't trust Noor. One of them isn't real, one of them is already inside. Ethan turned the page. A photo was taped there, old and fading. It showed a hospital room. Inside it, strapped to a chair, was someone who looked exactly like Ethan, except older, thin, hollow-eyed. He stared at the camera, and written in blood across the back wall. Behind him, wake up at 5 a.m., stay human. Just then, Ethan's mirror flashed again. This time, it wasn't a reflection, it was a live feed. He watched himself sleeping from inside the mirror, and someone else was in the room, standing over him, watching, waiting, smiling.